Hi, I'm Amanda, and I thought I would give some art journaling tips that I wish I knew as a beginner because I've been doing this for a couple of years now and I feel like I've learned some things. So I think it would be nice to just, give some advice to someone who's thinking about starting art journaling, or if you've just started and you just need to learn a few things or you want some advice, I got you. This video is going to be pretty chill. I'm mainly just going to be doing some art journaling and then I'm going to be yapping with the voiceover. So grab yourself a journal and just put this on in the background and just listen to some advice that I have. Okay, so the first tip that I have is to make art journaling a habit. I know everything always seems very tough at first, but this does get easier. Some things that I would like to do when I started this was I just made sure I kept my journal in a very visible place because when you see things, it reminds you that you need to do it. So don't put it in like a high shelf where you're not going to see it. Put it in a place where it's very visible to you so it reminds you that you need to start journaling. Another way that I was able to make a habit out of this was to just stop planning too much because I was overthinking things and that made me not want to do any work. So, in order to make things a habit, you have to have consistency. That means you need to show up constantly and just make stuff. And if you plan too much, if you overthink things, it's gonna make you not want to do it. So, just stop planning too much, and that can also help. And also, a great reminder that I have with habits is that a little bit goes a long way. You don't have to make a huge, beautiful painting on every single page you make. You can make little things and it will go a long way. If you want to see art journaling as a long term thing, you do need to make it a habit, but it's a great thing because you're able to see the progress that you make through your art. Having journals, it's like a physical copy of things. So you can look back on it, see all those memories, and see the progress that you've made. And that's a really great thing. So, thinking of this long term, make it a habit so that you set up a really good foundation and you'll make great things in the future. The next tip that I have is in regards to supplies, and that is you need to start small with supplies. You do not need to buy a lot at once, accumulate supplies as you go. This means if you're able to, just buy one new crayon so you can test out that brand because sometimes you'll buy an entire pack and then realize that you don't even like the pack that much and then you've wasted money. So, this is financial advice. Buy one thing first and then try it. And then if you do like it, continue on and buy a full pack of them. Another thing I've been doing with supplies is swapping them with friends. So if I like something but I didn't really like it enough to keep, I'll swap it with a friend and they'll also give me stuff. And this can also bring some really fun inspiration. I found one time that my friend gifted me a paint set and that sparked a lot of inspiration for me. So, when it comes to supplies, I know it can be really exciting to start journaling and you want to buy a whole bunch of stuff, but in reality, trust me, you do not need to spend all that money on it. Save your money, you will thank me later. You don't need a lot to get started. My third tip for you is to have multiple journals going at the same time. Don't just have one, try and get maybe 2 or 3 journals happening at the same time. Sometimes when you get into the groove of creating or painting, you don't want to stop, but you kind of have to stop because you need to wait for the paint to dry on your page. So if you have multiple journals, you can keep on moving and making stuff, and this helps with your creative flow. This also helps because sometimes you don't want to create a whole page all at once. You want to take breaks and come back to it maybe after a few hours, maybe after a few days. So you'll have multiple projects going at the same time, and that helps with your creative energy. This can also help to save on supplies. If you mix too much paint, for example, you can then use it on multiple pages and multiple journals. You're able to spread your supplies out more. If you've seen any of my previous art journal flip through videos, you can usually see that I'm sharing about 3 of them at a time. That's because I'm usually working through 3 of them and I'm going through them all. So that explains that. So I can tell you that this does work. It just helps you to not get frustrated and not to give up on a journal. If one page isn't working out, you can just move to a new one and keep on going. My final tip is that you don't need to find all of your ideas by yourself. You can be inspired by others, so don't depend on yourself all the time. Sometimes when we're starting out, we feel like we have to make up all of our ideas on our own because that will make us look very like special or quirky. But honestly, all that really does is make you burnt out and frustrated because it can be really hard to do to find your own original ideas. So, first off, start off by following people that you admire, watch online journal with me tutorials and videos, save other people's ideas. And now that you have lots of ideas from people that you admire, you're able to work off of that and you can make it your own, add your creativity. But now that you have the idea, you're able to start because honestly, starting can be the hardest thing. One of the greatest things about art is that there's just so much content out there in the world. There's so many artists out there that you can find and have inspiration from. You do not need to make this all alone. Have the courage to learn from others. I know it feels hard to accept that you don't know anything, but that is how you grow. And the great thing is that there are people out there who have made a lot of great stuff and are willing to share it with you. They're willing to share their ideas with you. So embrace it. You don't need to start from scratch. I know sometimes when we make art, we feel like we have to make really great stuff that's going to change the world and be really like impactful. But sometimes you need to realize that sometimes the art you make is just for you. And that's honestly the art that you might even love the most. So, of course, we can strive and we can make goals to make really life-changing art, but accept that sometimes it's not going to be like that and that's okay. So just find inspiration wherever you may go and remember that art is first and foremost for you before it's for others. So that is my tips for art journaling. I hope that if you haven't already, you start art journaling. You even maybe think about it or, save this so that you may give it a try. I love art journaling and I hope that my videos encourage you to love art journaling as well. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.